Meals of a Lifetime. J. Alfred Prufrock measured out life in coffee spoons. But Nora knows a woman's life is measured by the meals she makes. Like the cheap spaghetti and rice and beans when she is in her first apartment and doesn't know how to cook and only has 3 pots and no way to get to the market that has decent meat. Not that she'd know how to choose good meat anyway, to say nothing of decent fruit. Made in a tiny kitchen with a leaky, crooked stove where cakes bake lopsided, and the only cupboard is hung so low that she always knocked over the things she set beneath it when she opened the door to get the one nice dish she used for company, to mound the overboiled pasta on, and pour the sauce with bits of 2 brown onions speckling canned tomatoes and dried garlic, which she will make festive with a sprinkle of cheese and cheap wine when her boyfriend comes over. Then comes the small house with a serviceable kitchen and a husband to cook for, an entertaining family, Sunday dinner, or even holidays. Not, of course, the big ones, not Thanksgiving or Christmas or major birthdays, but the smaller events, yes, a kid birthday or dinner after a niece's recital or a nephew's ball game, a simple roast, say, with potatoes and carrots alongside, and a green salad, and her mother's easy chocolate cake, made from scratch. Yes, completely homemade, she answers, topped with powdered sugar and whipped cream. Easier than frosting, and who doesn't love whipped cream? Then the kids, and cooking becomes daily, required, complicated. Nutrition for pregnancies and children with touchy stomachs and arcane rules that things may not touch or be mixed together, and how one likes meat and one hates red things and needs to be ready at the same time every day. And as soon as these capricious laws are learned, they change, and suddenly one loves spicy food and one will not eat cheese. And yet there are special dinners, company dinners, even the big holiday dinners, even Thanksgiving. For these, the good dishes come out, the wedding gifts, and recipes are studied, lists made. And because the kids are still young and she cannot work on other things, and because cooking allows her creativity and ambition, she grows more confident and adventurous. Forays into Indian or Japanese or Moroccan cuisine, and field trips to special markets, dragging the kids, bribing them with foreign treats with funny names. And the whole clan remembers her suckling pig and rustic apple ginger tart that one Easter. Then the kids are not around so much, and the food goes cold on plates and is not eaten at dinner because they're not around, or not home, or hungry. But later is wolfed down in quantities that astonish, along with pizza from the freezer and burritos delivered late at night. And no, Mom, homemade and healthy is not as good, and no one eats that. But the husband continues to eat, praise God, but less butter, more salad, and it should be organic. And one day she finds herself saying, there are people coming for dessert, but who wants to make a big deal anyway? I'll pick up a pie at the bakery and some nice cheese and fruit, and that is enough. And on Thursday she works late, but be sure to get the good bread from D'Amato's, and if you get home before I do, there's soup in the crock pot. Just slice up a tomato and I will be home late, but the soup is done. And then working less and less, but travel, and deli rotisserie chicken, and let's order in, I don't feel like cooking, and I got reservations at the restaurant, the food blogger went nuts over. The kids and little ones might come by Saturday, let's do burgers outside. And then, suddenly, it must be food that doesn't upset the stomach, that boosts the immune system, that doesn't conflict with chemo, that doesn't cause nausea, that is easy to swallow and still makes him gain weight and feel happy, as long as he can. But still, the once or twice a year production, getting out the large roaster. How big a turkey do we need, I wonder? And then the pleadings for her greatest hits. Mom, you have to make your homemade gravy. The kids will be disappointed if you don't make your famous rustic apple ginger tart. And she is flattered and also annoyed because there are warnings. Don't lift that heavy platter by yourself. Someone will come early to help set the table and find the good napkins and make sure she doesn't feel too bad or too tired or too sad. And of course she must, I insist we must get the silver out from our wedding and the picture we got for our last anniversary last year. 2 years ago, I mean. And then, now. Very simple, but not so many carbs. The doctor says lean protein is best. She measures the days of how many dinners her package of quick frozen chicken breasts and ground sirloin she forms into patties when she brings it home, 4 to a pound, wrapping each in its square of tin foil. She keeps on hand a couple tomatoes at a time, 2 onions, some carrots, but makes sure there are things in her freezer in case she doesn't feel like taking out the car. Sometimes, when she is particularly tired, she just opens a can of soup. She always sits at the table with a bowl and napkin, It is a matter of discipline to not stand at the stove and eat it out of the pot. She forces herself to sit alone at the table and eat her soup and a piece of fruit, so that when her daughter calls, she can answer truthfully and say, "Yes, I made a good dinner."